Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Coming up, an Invictus Balisong, my sub-collection of Protex, and it's open mic night. I had a long, arduous, I don't know what it's been, 3 or 4 months, and a lot of it I'm seeing is culminating this week. So I didn't really, my mind wasn't on one particular topic we could talk about tonight. So I figured we could just kind of spray the room, if you will, and just talk about whatever comes to us. But as usual, I still have some things I do want to touch on. Hey, Scott, we have Scott N tonight. Always a pleasure. Nick EDCer, the owl, good to have you here. He says, evening, Scott. We have Michael Morgan. Hello, Michael. Good to have you here. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the pocket check, of course. And I have a little what if question about the Marlin spike, which we'll get to in a minute. Maybe you remember maybe you know the Marlin spike. Maybe you yourself are a mariner and have and use this knife. Very cool knife. I'm going to talk about it in a little while, just about an idea I have. And yeah, you already know what it is. I'm sure you're figuring it out. You look at that knife and you figured out what it is. Ryan, good to have you here, man. Happy Thursday Night Knives. We have Spirited Blades with us. This Old Sword, Dave, Blade Reviews. Good to see you. Looking sharp, Bob. Why, thank you. I like that. That's good. I saw what you did with the language. James Moore, always a pleasure, James. Good to have you with us on this fine evening. We have Ian. Heck yeah. Good to see you, Ian. Good to have you here. Hey, man. Always a pleasure, Nick. What are you EDCing today, EDCer? Nick, EDCer. Top Dog. Evening, everyone. We have Top Dog 8762. Good to see you here, sir. I have a pocket check for you tonight. I want to show you what I was carrying. Something that I don't carry as much as I thought I would when I got it, but I will never get rid of it. Just so happens I got it from Zelric 42, Terrell Todd, one half of the Todd brothers, who designed those cool knives. Those are Todd knife and tool knives. Anyway, I bought this from him when we were carousing a little bit. He would come on Thursday Night Knives in the early days of Thursday Night Knives, and then COVID happened, and he was off saving the country, saving the infrastructure and such. He was very mysterious about what he was doing, but he could never come back on, which was a bummer. Maybe someday in the future. Very cool guy. Love his designs. But he sold me this SMF CC. CC in the Strider vernacular stands for concealed carry. If you look at it in cross section, it is contoured on both sides, overall thinner. I think at the very thickest, it is the same width, perhaps, as a Lego. That's coming from absolutely nowhere. I used to have a Lego, and I think it was probably about as thick as a Lego at its thickest on this knife, but the Lego, of course, squares out, makes it really uncomfortable. Hey, Kurtzinger, spray the room. Sounds like you're going to go for the jugular. You know what, man? Spray the room. That's a term we use at work sometimes when it's just like, I don't care what you shoot. I'm talking to a cameraman. I don't care what you shoot me. Just spray the room. We got a bunch of people listening to one person. We just got to get some close-ups, just. But then it always reminds me of Jackie Brown. Snuz. Hey, fellas. Hope everyone is having a great week. I'm having an awesome week. Very, very, very busy week. And hey, Chris, Blade Ogre, good to have you here. And I don't know about you, but sometimes, like, before really, really busy weeks, I feel like, God, man, can I get through this? I know I can get through this, but can I get through this the way I want to without being a spaz and like doing awesome work and having people be like, wow, that Bob, he's so unflappable, and look at his work, man. So I think I'm doing all right this week. Hello, fellow knife junkie, Bob and Jim. Blade Hobby, good to have you here. And it's Thursday, and tomorrow I've finagled away. I'm gonna make this week work. So that's my long way of saying, yeah, it's going great here. How's it going out there? I hope it's going well. And of course, I had a Strider in my pocket today, and that is a ridiculous luxury if you actually think about it. I did not pay retail for this, but it becomes even more ridiculous if you think about what this retails for. So So it's amazing the sort of relativistic luxury we begin to accept. And I do accept you, Strider SMFCC. I accept you and I will keep you. Here's a good way when you're looking at, say, videos of how to tell if you're looking at an SNG or an SMF and you don't have a ruler or size reference. The SNG, the smaller version, and perhaps the more common, I'm not sure. This is a ProTech version, but the major specs are the same. So the way you can tell if you have no other way of referencing is looking at the body screws. It is an SMF if it's got 3 body screws across the top. It is an SNG if it only has 2 body screws across the top. This one, of course, this little the button, the actuator button, mother of pearl on this is deceptive. That's not 3 body screws. That is an actuator button. But yeah, so today I had the Strider SMF, and then in my front left pocket for my secondary knife, excuse me, I had the knife that resides in this absolutely gorgeous leather case. I love this case. You see the CK of collectorknives.net, and today I was carrying the Fox-made, Mike Latham designed recoil gunstock jack. A really, really spectacularly awesome modern single-bladed jackknife with the gun stock handle configuration. Of course, that looks like an old rifle stock if you flip it over that way, and a beautiful clip point blade with just incredible action. I just spoke with Mike Latham. He's going to be on the podcast this weekend, and we were talking specifically. I wanted to have him on to talk about the release of this knife in particular, because this is a prototype, and when he gave it to me over 1.5 years ago and I started showing it off, people were asking about it. So it's finally out, and it's got a couple of really awesome handle covers, one of which is like a fat carbon. They have a wood, they have an ivory micarta, they have this sort of roughly hewn micarta, and then I think they have a carbon fiber as well, like a regular carbon fiber, but I could be mistaken about that. But very light, very capable. That's M390 blade steel. And a cool thing about this knife is that the bolsters and the liners are integral pieces. So the bolster and the liner are one piece milled out, and then they put the cover in there, but it's a notch carved out of one piece of titanium, which I love. Whereas you look at most bolstered knives and the bolster is on top of the liner, this is all one piece. Very strong. Being M390, I think, is a great. So when we talk about super steels, to me, the place where super steels probably actually make the most sense are on smaller, everyday user knives like this, or little, I don't know, just little user knives. Sorry, I'm at a loss right now, but because they get used a lot, and size-wise are relatively easy to sharpen, just in terms of the range of what you're doing, in terms of space and all that on the stone. So I feel like small blades, small everyday user blades really benefit from a blade steel like M390 like this, because you can have it in your pocket just forever and basically probably never really have to sharpen it. If you do, you could just sharpen that little blade and get back to it, and you can probably just keep stropping it. So anyway, that's what I was carrying today. My tan G10 CC SMF from Strider. Gorgeous, Bob, says Michael. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Which one or both? And then, of course, the Fox-made recoil, a beautiful gunstock jack, modern gunstock slip joint jack designed by Mike Latham of collectorknives.net. At Point says, CK, I didn't know Calvin Klein makes knives. That's right. Yeah, they're on the billboards and everything. But the underwear, Snuznuz says, let's get some of those likes clicked, fellas. Let's get some of those likes. Like, subscribe, of course, comment. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here talking out into the screaming into the wilderness, as they say. So what are you carrying today? What's your pocket check? Carried the Land 912 today. Michael, thank you for being the first one to chime up. I don't know what the Land 912 is, though. Maybe I can look it up real quick. Like, I Kurtzinger says both are great. Well, thank you. I couldn't agree more. I selected them. I curated my pocket today. What was that? The Land 912. Thank you, sir. 912, and I'll just put knife. Why not? All right. Let's see what this thing looks like. Well, as I do this, I will accept other. Oh, that. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that is a cool knife. It has a bit of a Sabenza vibe to it. Nice looking knife, and I like simple classic lines like that more and more these days. That's for sure. Agent Orange Peel, good to have you here, sir. Ah, man, I was trying to get a Strider CC last weekend, but the line was too insane. Oh, were you you must have been at the knife show. That's too bad, man. I'm sorry. This one I lucked into. I've lucked into most of my cool knives, I got to say. And Dave here has helped me luck into a number of them. Carrying the ZT0561 in LMAX. I love that. That's the Tan G10. And tie along with the Tepe Hornet 2 in M390. That Hornet is a cool looking design. And I can't think of what the second one looks like, but I remember liking it better than the first. The first is interesting with the cool many swoops. I felt like it had one too many swoops. And then I remember in the Hornet 2, it felt like they remedied that. And the 0561 was the first Hinderer designed anything I ever had. And I think the first ZT, and I got it used. And it just so happened that the guy I bought it from on Blade Forums lives in my area. So I got it from him. We met up at Starbucks, and what an awesome knife. I sort of regret getting rid of it, but it went towards buying a Hinderer. So all's well that ends well. Max the Maker, good to see you here, sir. Olight, Pair Run 2 used so I could take out the compost, close up the coop, drain the hose, and take the family dog for a walk. Doug Ritter, RSK Mark 1 G2 used to cut twine, and Swiss Army knife. Huntsman not used. Love the Huntsman. That Olight, that's the new Olight knife. I take it, one of two. They have two. So this is the newest of the Olight knives, I think, right? And of course the RSK. I mean, come on. That's cool. Max the Maker really does use his knives. And I like that he always lets me know what the tasks that each knife actually went through. Blade Hobby says, with me too, I have my ZT 640 and my Benchmade mini grip. Very nice selection and very nice range. I love the 640. I was carrying that the other day. One of my favorites. I Kurtzinger says the ZT 470. That's got to be a Sinkovich design, right? Because it starts with a 4. Is that the bulbous one? Is that the sort of one that is very unlike the 460 and the 450? It's actually, the 460 and the 450 are long and slender. Is the 470 the fat one that's sort of got weird shapes? Let me know. I carried the Tactile Rockwall today. Top dog. Good to see you. Oh, I already greeted you, but hello again. I had mine out before and was just marveling at what an awesome knife it is and how I like, where did I put it? I put that knife away, but there's another one right around here. Oh, this right here. The Rockwall, I was playing with mine today, and it made me think about how much I actually like liner locks, titanium liner locks. Now, this, of course, is not the Rockwall. This is the Turbo designed by Peter Carey, who was on the show, and manufactured by, produced and brought to market by Monterey Bay Knives. Sanford was also on the show from Monterey Bay Knives. So this knife is special to me because it encapsulates a couple of different great interviews. This is not mine, by the way. This is Sanford. but I'm going to try and buy it from him. But my point is, this also is a titanium liner lock. So full titanium handle, but a different type of action because it's a liner lock, and there's zero resistance from pressing in on a lock bar there, obviously. So this has a really nice action and feel, and it's a little different. And it reminds me of, I have to say, it reminds me a little bit of the old CRKT eraser by Liang Ma, the first eraser. It had very interesting, it didn't have bearings, so you needed to juice up, you needed to load up a little energy in that flipper tab first, but it had a break. It had like a two beat opening sound. I think they call it a flam in drumming. Does anyone know? Where it's like, boom, boom. Here, listen, just listen. All right, sorry. Enough of that. But so whoever, I can't even remember who was carrying the rock wall, but just very long way of saying awesome choice. And I was handling mine today, and and came to a realization that I really do like liner lock titanium handles. So there you go. Top dog. There you go. So if you have a chance, check out this Peter Carey designed turbo. It is super sweet. Super sweet. Nick Simcoe, good to see you. Nick, didn't mean to ignore you before. I was just on a talking jag and had to finish it. Currently, it's a Spyderco Goddard. Very nice. Wait. Goddard. Like the French filmmaker. Wow. What's the Goddard? I don't know what that is. Half the knives you guys tell me, you're like way above my pay grade with some of your taste. I love that, actually. It raises me up. Michael Morgan says Sandvik 3.5-inch steel frame lock, 4.8 ounces, made by SRM. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, and it looks classy. You know what I mean? Like, it is a direct contrast to, say, one of the more recent Kershaw steel frame locks, where they're like, and I don't know if this was the motivation, but it kind of seems like, oh, well, let's make this cheap knife look expensive. We'll anodize some of this gold, and we'll put some extra little milled shapes, and we'll throw a lot of stuff at it, and it'll look more expensive. Whereas to me, you take that something like the Land, and it's just simple. And if you make it well, that is classier. That's nicer. That's better. It's like, it's the difference between like a really, really flashy, loud, stupid car with all the trimmings, and something that's just, kind of simple, smooth, fast, and brutal. At Knife Point, good to see you. Was off work today. Nice. I kind of wish I was too. Only left home to pick up food. Very nice. No knife today, just a pistola. CZP-01. Now, I don't know which one that is in particular, but I got to say, being a guy who's led around by his eyes, I really like the way CZ pistols look. I think they look cool as hell. Hey, we have Nick with us. Good to see you here, sir. Strider SNG full flat ground in PSF 27. PSF 27. I think that fell to earth a few years back on an asteroid that was spirited away and is now going into very special knives like that one. I was wearing your t-shirt the other day, by the way. You probably didn't see it because I think I had a shirt on, but I love that t-shirt, the Who Knows t-shirt. Go to the Niche Designs website to get that awesome t-shirt. It's just a black or a red t-shirt, but in white letters, it has all the cool steels kind of listed in big letters. And the name of the t-shirt is very aptly named If You Know, You Know. And it's a great t-shirt. Good conversation starter. Hornet 2 is the larger version, 4-inch blade of the original one, but with full CF handles and nested liners. Does it have the same blade shape, Dave? Sometimes, to me, you stretch out a blade to 4 inches. I know I talk about this a lot, and it becomes a little more elegant, has a chance to fully express its lines or something like that. James Moore says, got my Gen 2 Arius, very nice, with CF show scale. Very nice, James. James Moore, ladies and gentlemen, not a Tanto in the entire collection. He is very adamant about that. And I think you're all hollow ground too, right? I think he may have said that once. Agent Orange Peel says, ended up carrying the Strider SMF Lego. Nice. It's something in the air today with the Striders. And the new Umnumzon Monkey Edge version today. Very nice. Wow. Okay, so Agent Orange is a bold individual indeed, carrying around over $1,000 worth of folding knives on him at one time. Agent, I hope your significant other is not watching, but I'm sure that's not happening. Wow, man. So one of my many stupid carry rules is to be cheap on one of my knives. Not cheap, but less precious. Like if I'm going to carry this here, VSEP, for instance, my small knife will probably not be the Rockwall. My small knife will probably be, say, this GEC, but not a super high-end GEC. Anyway, I like the cut of your jib, sir, carrying both an SMF and an Umnumzon. Is that clip point, or is that or did they make this Monkey Edge version also in the Tanto, which has been one of my recent obsessions? I've been carrying that knife like crazy. Redacted, good to have Redacted with us. Good evening, all. I carried the Best Tech Explorer today. Yet another sub $50 D2 flipper on bearings, but it's a nice one. Hey, man, in a way, it's like, fine, spoil me. Like they say, a rising tide raises all ships or something like that. This was made by Best Tech. Outstanding. I have a number of Best Tech made knives. I at the current moment don't have any Best Tech branded 470 Sinkovich. Okay, yeah, I knew it. I just don't recognize the number, so I think that's what that was. Everyday City Carry. What are you doing, Ray? Good to see you, man. It's great to see you. Thanks for that. Ray has been doing awesome stuff with his podcast. Check it out. He's got a live show, but it's also a podcast, and it's wide ranging. And Ray's a funny dude, so check it out. I think you would probably like it if you're not already watching it. I'm sure you already watch it. But Ray's a great guy. Not only that, but follow him on Instagram. His Instagram is sweet. I love his ASMRs and his little quick. It's like he does little quick, little short films, and I like them. So anyway, thank you, Ray. I appreciate it greatly. Snuznuz says, today I'm carrying my Riot Exo drop point. Still looking for the double edge. Oh, that is cool. That is something interesting to me. Swiss Champ, because I felt like it. Case Hobo, that's a Case Hobo knife for lunch. That's right. We talked about that last week. Dangerous little brass Kiradashi in the back pocket. Is that dangerous because it doesn't have much of a detent and opens up on you, and sometimes you don't know when you reach into your back pocket if you're going to get a blade under your fingernail? Kind of dangerous? Or is it dangerous like, don't mess with me, I got my little Kiradashi? Just curious. Actually, Jim, can you go back to that last comment real quick before I say hi to Sean M? This Riot Exo is so cool, man. This is the one where the handle kind of separates and the blade slides out. It is a gravity knife. I mean, I've before talked about how ridiculous it is that gravity knife is included in so many knife laws this day and age. But here Riot goes and makes a gravity knife, and a cool one indeed. And I, like you, Snuznuz, would be savagely looking for the double edge. It's just not on my radar at the current moment, but cool knife. I cannot wait to check that out. Thank you, Jim. And Sean M. Sean, good to see you, Sean. You got stickers in the mail coming to you. Actually, a number of you have stickers in the mail coming to you. I just got a little package from Vistaprint where I get my stickers And if anyone has a better place, let me know, and I will do it there. But they're pretty quick, and so I got stickers going out in the mail to a number of new patrons. Carrying the Petrified Fish 949 in black micarta. It's Rambo sharp. So Petrified Fish, Dave exposed me to one of them. He sent he gifted the channel a Petrified Fish, which we will give away. But oh, man, God, it is impressive. It is another impressive. And we were just talking about Best Tech, and I was just talking about the Best Tech made knives I have, and then I've had in the past. They're so well made. And Petrified Fish, they're another company who's coming out and making really nicely. I mean, they feel really good. Of course, I don't own one. I've just fiddled around with it. You can extrapolate from there. I haven't used it for a year. I don't know how great it is, but you get to know knives after a while, and you can pick something up and feel it. And it's impressive how many operations out there are just making just top flight knives. Tim Simcoe says it's an older model Spyderco C16. This is from a sprint run about 10 years ago. It's a drop point hunter, similar to a Buck 110, but FRN and mid backlock. I do remember this knife. I do remember that knife. It has the opening hole, but it doesn't have a big hump, right? I'm pretty sure I remember this knife. And not confusing it with an old Benchmade. Sometimes those old Benchmades that use the opening hole confuse me. Walt Gilbert, good to see you here, Walt. Love my tee and decals, he says to Niche Designs. Just talented designer. And not only that, I have my Niche Designs. I have it always close at hand pretty much. This is the Egress. This is prototype model number 2. He did 3 of them, and very, very graciously gifted this one to me after letting me check out all 3 prototypes. He said this was the most tactically minded version of it, so he thought I would like it, and indeed I love it. It has a place of what do you call it? Place of prominence in my collection, and it actually gets quite a bit of use because of that awesome straight edge. So not only is he pumping out really cool t-shirts and decals, but he's also a great knife designer, and if I remember correctly, working on a slip joint next, so we look forward to that. Olight Perrin is a right angle. Oh cool, 2500 lumen flashlight, right angle, like the old GI ones. My brother had a flashlight when we were kids that he got from Public Safety Supply. It was a Army Navy place, and it had one of those right angle flashlights, and it was so dim. It was old flashlight tech, of course, but I liked it because you could change the lenses and have a red light. Blade Ogre says, finally finished my Ogre Spike Bowie. The Ritter. Oh, yeah, that's right. You've been working on the handles, changing the handle material up a bit. The Ritter Hogue RSK, very nice. But which one? The Red Horse Hellraiser, very cool. I've been liking the look of that auto, gotta say. It's a little bit simpler than the other design, than the main design, and that's all I need from that design, is just a little bit simpler. And I think they really nailed it for my personal taste with the automatic. And an Actilem T3 weird top locking French knife. Oh, I like that. I love foreign knives with a pocket clip on the spine. The French, always doing things a little differently. I do like French knives, Italian knives, Spanish knives. I love all the different breeds of like peasant knives. Like Opinel is not the only Opinel out there. And unfortunately, names are escaping me. Andrew Bentley, good to see you, Andrew. Andrew, good man, gifted me a beautiful little tiny Damascus fixie that I keep in my top fixed blade drawer. Pixel Jedi, good to see you here. Yo Jumbo and Squid, CRKT Squid. That is a great combo. Let me tell you why, Pixel. Here I just so happen to have my Yo Jumbo out tonight. Why I think that is a great combo is that you've got a couple of things going here. Yo Jumbo and CRKT Squid. That's two different knives from two different price categories, two vastly different sizes, two different blade shapes. One with the straight edge and one with the rounded edge. Two different lock types, and well, there are many other differences, but to me, that is what makes an ideal carry combination. Two different knives that scratch two different backs, so to speak. If you were to carry the Yojimbo and the Yojumbo, I'd say, tourist, come back to me when you move to town, because that just is not happening. James Moore says, I have hollow and flat ground blades. Generally, I like thin grinds. The Arius has a great hollow grind, tall blade, moderate stock thickness, and solid tip. Nice. James, the first one, I think you've probably heard this, but the first Arius I experienced was in June at Blade Show East, and I saw their table or their booth like over and over and over, and it was just thronged. They're just people just like ants on candy. But I went up to it, and when it had cleared up, and I got a chance to play with, to experience both a flipper and a non-flipper, and I was just absolutely blown away. I was like, I think I've already felt like the smooth, like how much smoother is it going to get? Am I going to even perceive more smooth than what I've already experienced? And I tried, those Arius knives. It's just like, forget it. They were like air. So very, very cool. And one thing that was very impressive to me was that tall, really hollow grind. Just looking at the design on paper, I am not crazy about it. Seeing it in real life and having it in hand, I am. So I fear one day I will go on a hunt for one of those. I know it's not easy. Ian said, just got a Capara, carrying a couple weeks now. Nice. I do like the Capara. I remember when that came out, people were really talking that up as a knife that's great for food prep. And obviously, hey, Hollywood Tactical, good to see you here, sir. He and I debated a couple weeks back, or maybe that was last week. I don't know. It's been a long week so far. So, Incognito Griffin, good to see you here. Hey, Bob. Today I carried my Vaquero. Never leave my house without it. I like your style, sir. And my new cold steel Kiridashi. I bought because of its utility capabilities. I love the Kiridashi. It's a great knife. Okay, so Incognito has a very good carry combination. He's hitting on most cylinders. He's got a Vaquero, which is giant and curvy. And then he's got a Kiridashi, which is tiny and straight and pointy. Same lock. The Kiridashi has a different kind of clip. It's molded on there. So there are a couple of places where, same brand. I wouldn't go with the same brand knives, but it's a really good carry combination. Yeah, for what that's worth. Ancient Orange Peel says, last release was Drop Point. Now I have both. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either Drop Point or Tanto. I cannot disagree with you. I really can't. Sean M says, Jim keeps missing my chats, so my EDC is now a bullet bourbon shot glass. Oh, Sean, we will bring you into the chats. Something must be happening. Scott N says, AD10 for me. A good choice. A fine choice, Scott N. Is that the hollow ground? I have the hollow ground, and I do adore it. So, Byron Kennedy, good to see you here, Byron. Hi all. ZT 308 BK and Gerber Grills pocket knife. Okay, the 0308, that's another one that I thought it looked nice, in pictures. I like that. But then when I picked one up at the USA Blades made Blades table at Blade Show, again, it was the same thing. I was like, wow, this is great. And actually, I would really like to have the 308 in my small ZT sub collection. I think it would be a good sort of contemporaneous tip of the hat to the old 200, which I have, but they're kind of the same type of knife. Hollywood Tactical says White Mountain Knives exclusive 154 cm, possibly my favorite steel. Brown micarta, Kaiser swayback. Ooh, very nice. Very, very nice. I like that Kaiser swayback a lot. And well, I don't have one, but and you know, brown micarta. Forget about it. Michael Morgan says, just got my first best tech, a murdered out operator. That operator is a cool looking knife, that very straight edge, a couple of peaks and valleys on the spine. To me, it looks more utility than operator. To me, I think of operator as the guy in, you know, in tactical gear, taking people out swiftly, smoothly, quietly, like John Matrix. And but maybe they're referring to, there are other kind of operators, people who operate plenty of things other than military operations. So, you know, how do you like it? I'm curious. How do you like it? The best tech, the operator. James Moore says, saw some great knives at Friday Night Blade Affair at the California Custom Knife Show last weekend, including from Sinkovich. He's my, I love his designs. Rexford, Jonas Iglesias, Koenig, and Shirogorov. Very, very nice. I wonder, was there something new from Koenig? Interested about that, and anything from Sinkovich, especially. This is gonna sound funny. Well, he just came out with a new Bowie, which looks really, really awesome, folding Bowie. But a few years back, Sinkovich made a wine key. Oh my God, it is just beautiful. I would love to have the Sinkovich wine key. So there you go. If you're wondering what to get me for Christmas, get me a Sinkovich wine key. You know, two. I could take two. Blades and Fades, good to see you. What up? He says. Good to see you, sir. JN. Hello, knife persons. How do? Do well. Thank you. And you? Sean M says, I remember long ago when we would always carry a jackknife for our staple carry before EDC existed. Yeah. You threw, let's see. So before EDC existed, clip knives existed. I came into it with a clip knife, and it was a Fury. I mean, I've always been into the knives, but the daily carry, it was a Fury knife, and I bought it in a mall in what the hell? Right outside of Philadelphia. I'm sorry, I just went down memory lane there. That was in the early 90s, and I was not carrying I never really carried a jackknife. I did carry a camp knife, you know, like a scout knife for a while. But anyway, I get your point, Sean. Yeah, before EDC, it was just like a jackknife. It wasn't necessarily something special, but it also wasn't special in a way that you flip out about it either. You just throw it in your pocket, go to school or go to work or get on a flight or whatever, and you're fine. JN, howdy Bob, howdy Jim, howdy JN, how do? I do well. Todd Carr, good to see you here, Todd. Evening, everyone, he says. Good evening to you, Todd. What were you carrying today, or what are you still carrying? EDC Oz, good to see you. Bonjour, everyone. Well, bonjour, sir. So let me ask you something. Hey, Edwin, good to have Edwin here with us, our resident Emerson expert, but also the man has an awesome collection of GECs. He's got some really cool small fixed blade knives, and I know he's got a Strider, and so he's like, oh, it's not just Emerson's, but it's like 1,000 or like, I'm sorry, 99.9% Emerson, the most amazing collection. Anyway, check him out. Callow Blades. Hello, everyone, says K Mason. Hello. Hit that thumbs up, says K Mason. I agree with K Mason. K Mason and I agree. Thumbs up me. Thumbs up this broadcast or live stream, I guess. Yo Jumbo is the best Spyderco currently in production. Such a cool knife. I'd agree with you. I would agree with you. I do agree with you. The thing that needed a little care was this little mid handle peak. I just rounded that off a little bit. so my fingers don't have to be partitioned the way it's says. And then I would like to do this thing and just put a little choil there. This seems like a little awkward area, but I love this knife. So cool. So cool. Sean M., I just picked up the DeMarco Shark's Foot 20.5. Awesome, 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 awesome choice. I just thought I had pulled that out because I wanted to fiddle around with it. But man, so how do you like it, Sean? I mean, is it worth the hype? Do you think it's worth the hype? How do you like that AUS 10A blade steel? I actually like it a lot, I got to say. It worked pretty robustly on a bunch, or worked pretty well on a bunch of bamboo I had to sharpen. And then, but it told up, you know, in a respectable amount of time, but man, it's dropped up like that. So awesome. I just got my Yojimbo DLT trading exclusives in 20 CV in black blade and tan handle. I didn't know that they made the Yojimbo in such a configuration. Yowza. I might have to, I mean, this would look really cool in black and tan, gotta say. And with a black and tan. Oh, Yojimbo. Okay. Well, still, that is an awesome, that's an awesome combo. I do have their old Chicago. I do have their old 20 CV exclusive from DLT, and it was with a shiny, you know, like a satin blade and carbon fiber. TOS gonna get some shut eye. Knife bros, be well, stay sharp. Well, thank you, man. Thank you, Dave. It's always a pleasure to know you're watching and to hear your feedback and to hear your words and find out what you've been carrying, man. Keep your eye out for Dave, This Old Sword Blade Reviews. Go check him out on Instagram, but most definitely on YouTube. His videos are awesome. Have a good night, Dave. All right, we got Chris here. Got the Purple Beast, a.k.a. Purple RSK Mark 1 G2, not the Mini. Very nice. I got the Mini of that, and I love that that purple layered G Mascus. So cool. Spyderco Yojimbo 20 CV or ProTech TR3S in S45. First of all, hello. Oh, I have greeted you already. So I will spare you the pleasantries, EDC Oz, and say that this is a tough one, man. Okay, so I have the TR3 right here. This is not an S45. This is in 154 CM. So just imagine. I know it might be hard, but just look at that blade and pretend that it's S45 VN. And then Yojimbo I left in the case, but like I showed you before, I do have the Yojimbo. Let's take a quick look. Just scale this down because basically it's the same knife. But it will be ever so slightly smaller than the ProTech at a 3.25 inch blade on the Yojimbo. Handle wise, you're going to get handle wise, you're going to get a little more in the way of options with this knife. With the Yojimbo, you are pretty much always in this position. On the Yojimbo, there isn't this little shelf here. It just kind of dips straight down, and your thumb just naturally fits into that swale there. And then you have a handle that widens for your two middle large fingers and then tapers off considerably towards the end. So, I mean, you're gripping kind of in a natural fist. Your fist feels more closed than it does, say, on this, which is a bit boxier, you know, in cross section, and just boxy. Well, no, it's boxier, not in cross section. It's boxier because it is shorter this way. So, but this also feels great in hand. This also feels great in hand, but a little more like there's a little bit more to hold on to, maybe. Great action. Of course, I'm assuming that legality is not an issue for you in this case. So I am not going to choose for you. I am going to say that all things being equal, oh man, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. Well, let me just put it to you this way. I got a Yojimbo first. I do love a Wharncliffe blade. It has major utility. I do love a hollow ground blade. It cuts so nicely. Okay. The ProTech is a bit more. I would prime with it more readily. The tip on the Yojimbo is fragile. I know that from experience. So it depends on what you're using it for. If you're going out and you're doing a lot of different kind of things, and you're doing a lot of different types of things that aren't necessarily just cutting, or scoring or pull cutting with your knife, I guess I'd go with the ProTech. I think it'll hold up better for you. Because the Yojimbo, though it's awesome in utility and it's just an awesome knife, period, is more aimed at self-defense. The ProTech TR3 is aimed more at overall tactical utility. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Todd Carr. Today was the Leatherman Surge, Gerber Dime, Cold Steel Formax, Tucson TS16, M390, and QSP Parrot as fifth pocket knife. Man, this is a lot to unpack here. Leatherman Surge, very cool. You got to have that for your utility. Gerber Dime, not sure what that is. I think that might be a really small knife, zipper pull knife, maybe not. Cold Steel Formax, I'm assuming that was your main carry in your front right pocket, assuming you're right-handed. Tucson TS16, I don't know any of the Tucsons by moniker, but I'm guessing that's a slightly smaller one. And the QSP Parrot is the fifth pocket. Todd Carr, you're obsessed with knives. I think you have a problem, sir. Everyday EDC, EEDC. Good to see you, sir. QSP Legatus, and the QSP Thai Penguin. Very nice on the Thai Penguin and the Legatus. I remember liking it. Don't remember what it looks like right now. We talked about that recently. What up, dude? What up, dude? Good to see you, man. JN, John Matrix. Yeah. John Matrix. Yeah. Swift and silent. I learned from you. Or something. What did he say? Anyway, great movie, and great knife movie, gotta say. EDC Oz got my first GEC knife today. Pony Jack, very nice, awesome, very happy for you. GECs are really cool. Actually, tonight I brought a few out. Every night before Thursday Night Knives, I just pull out a smattering of knives just because I'm not sure what I'm going to want to talk about, and then people mention things like I just got GEC. And so I pulled these out. Pony Jack. If you like jackknives, check this one out. Where is it? Well, I think I didn't bring that one out, but here's the giant 23 they came out with a few years ago, or 2 years ago. And loving that thing. But so anyway, congratulations, sir. I hope you like it. Hope it serves you well, and stay on top of that shine unless you like a patina. I do like a patina, but I always end up polishing it off at some point and starting fresh. Beware, it will take off the blade etch when you do that, but I don't mind. No big deal. All right, JN says a Native Chief S90V. That's a go-to for you for sure. The Delica 20 CV and a Feldspar. I love that Feldspar. And the 20 CV grid toe and an Eldris and a Minimalist and a pointy stick. Holy mackerel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm counting the pointy stick. That's 7. Because pointy stick is just a small step away from a pick. A lot of people carrying picks in the knife world these days. So I'm counting it. James says Koenig was all about the Arius at the show, sold out fast both days. The new thing was the DLC blade on some. Oh, I bet that looks nice with the metal handle, or with the silver handle and the black blade. Also had a fancy lottery knife and auction Arius. Krista showed her mini Arius prototype. Ooh, that'd be nice. The mini Arius. That would be nice. At Knife Point, thank you for that information, by the way, James. At Knife Point says, Bob, I recently paid a premium price for a Shirogorov Sinkovich cami flipper. I don't foresee ever selling it, but can I expect its value to rise? If okay, well, I don't know much about this, but I would say yes, because I know it's very limited. But I would also say, if you want a guarantee that its value will, it's not a guarantee. No. If you want every assurance that if the value is to rise, it will rise for your specimen, don't carry it. Keep it in its, case. Don't scuff it, and keep it premium. And then that price will go up. But, if I was talking to, as I mentioned before, Mike Latham last night, and he's like, it's just like getting a car, man. You put that thing in your pocket and you start carrying it. You rub up against a counter or a car or something. You get that first scratch on the clip, and then you can't sell it, new in box. Then it's got to be like new in box, or whatever. You get the point. I think it will, because it's a very limited thing, but just take very good care of it if you are looking to sell it. But there's something nice about having something like that, which is a special piece, and just deciding, I'm not going to sell this one. I'm just not, why should I, unless it was a foolish, purchase in the first place, and you need to recoup money or whatever, or you need to sell it because you find yourself in a bind or something like that. But, ordinarily I like that feeling of being like, no, this one's in the collection forever. Snuznuz says, as an investment, it's generally better to buy stocks than knives. Just saying. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, if it is nice to have a hobby that can sustain itself, though. So it's not necessarily that you're into knives to make the money, but it is nice to know that the things that you're buying are maintaining their value, or have that possibility, especially in the case of that pretty special knife. Ed, good to see you, Ed. Gotta go. Enjoy the live, guys. Thank you. Well, thanks for joining us. Ed, thank you. Or EDC Oz, thank you. But Ed, also, thank you for joining us, and have a great night. EDC Oz, appreciate the information. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate your appreciation, or your show of appreciation. That's just my my take on it. But I would be interested to find out, if you choose between those two, what you end up choosing. So do let us know. Sean M, does the Leatherman Wave have a rival or strong competition? I don't know. This has to go out to our Leatherman people, because I am not a Leatherman connoisseur, though I'm starting to discover what I don't like in the Leathermans that I have. So I do know that there are some, maybe next time I buy one, there are a couple of things I'm going to make sure of. And I think chief among all of those is the comfort in the grip. I think I have a lot of old Leatherman where that wasn't considered much, but we shall see. Bob, Michael says, Bob, did you see the Pena Beer Buster? I have. That's the jack with the bottle opener. And I think whatever he does, especially I think whatever he does is beautiful. His slip joints, his sort of front flippers that he has Riot make and all that, I just think they're beautiful. Hinder Collector of 41, we know him as our good friend Brent, says, my EDC was my XM18 3.5-inch sheep's foot with steel flame goodies on it. All right, so I am curious, are there people out there besides Brent who like steel flame? Why and when did they come about? I'm just curious. Is that something that came out of the Usual Suspects network? Ricardo Vasquez. Ricardo, thank you, Ricardo. I appreciate that, man. Greatly appreciated. Ricardo Vasquez, welcome and thank you. Greatly appreciated. K Mason says, how do you like the Watt Ricardo? I think, huh? Oh, the Watu. Dang, autocorrect. Okay. What was the Watu? Jim, can you go back to the other one and I'll remember Watu? How do you like the Watu Ricardo? I think I should have got one. I don't even know what the hell that is. What is that? I think you should have gotten one too, though. I'm going to go to bat for you. and I'm gonna sharpen my argument right now. Ricardo Vasquez, I don't own a Watu. I simply I know which one you're talking about. But let me make sure. Sorry, I know you don't tune in to watch a guy search things on the internet, but I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same knife here. Well, a Watu is an animal with tremendous horns. We do know that. All right. I'm going to have to do some further research because I'm seeing a lot of really cool knives, but most of them are old African, like battle knives and throwing knives. E&G EDC, good to see you. Bob, is that a GEC Remington baby bullet you showed a few minutes ago? Why on earth is that not already sold out? Okay, so first of all, no, it's not. This is the GEC 23, which is basically the same knife. Is based on the Remington bullet model, but they came out with, they put it on the 23 model. What year was it? Yeah, last year in 2020. It's very big. So this is basically that same knife, the Remington baby bullet, the one that GEC was contracted to make for Remington. This is just a larger version. I don't know why that isn't sold out. I thought it was, but I don't know. A lot of people get squeamish about double-bladed knives. I think this is just anecdotal. But I think a lot of people prefer a single-bladed slip joint, and I think that this model, this sort of trapper model, was just maybe a little too, even in the smaller version, just a little too big and square and bulky for most people to want to carry. I could be wrong about that. Like, this doesn't fit in any of my leather slips. So I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Hollywood Tactical says, I love the Spyderco Watu. So that's the one that's got the triangular shaped blade, and it's the smaller version of the larger one that came out before it, based on an African traditional tribal blade. I Kurtzinger says, ethnic series, Japanese long point Watu. Oh, Japanese. Oh, God. I'm so confused. I like their ethnic series quite a bit, I gotta say. Gary, good to have Gary here. I value your opinion, Bob. I'm considering buying an Emerson CQC 15. Is it a good choice? Okay, well, interesting question. Wait, where did I pull? Okay. The Emerson I got out tonight, and I'll just use it for illustration, is the Tiger. I got the Emerson Tiger in my pocket tonight. I was carrying, we do a pocket check. I always have to put another knife in my pocket if I'm taking one out. So the one I did there was listen to the walk and talk on this, by the way. Hurt my ears. So this is the Emerson Tiger. You're asking about the 15. I have one over there, but I don't want to get up to show you. But all of the component parts are the same. Now, Gary, a lot of this depends on if you're already an Emerson fan, collector, user, or if you already have an Emerson at all. Is this going to be your first Emerson? And the only reason I asked that question is that, and this is all a matter of taste, I might opt for a different first Emerson, but that's just a matter of taste. It's very useful blade. So you do know about the chisel ground edge, I'm sure. Most Emersons are V ground on the main part of the blade, the main bevel, and then the cutting edge is chisel ground. So the edge comes down to a chisel edge. Very, very, very sharp. The only disadvantage is sometimes it takes a minute to get used to how it tracks through certain materials. You're going to cut up a whole bunch of cardboard with a chisel ground edge or a chisel ground blade. When the one side of the blade is flat, it's going to take a minute to get used to how it moves with its asymmetrical cross section. It's going to move differently through the material. So you got to keep that in mind. I'm not sure what you're going to use it for. CQC 15 is an outstanding choice for self-defense for sure. I mean, we'll get that out of the way. It's got a great handle similar to this, which is the CQC 13 handle. Similar to this, it bookends your hands. It looks very different from this handle, but it has a bird's beak on one end and a finger guard at the front, and your hand definitely knows it needs to stay within those confines. The CQC15 is excellent in reverse grip. It's also more neutral than this if you, for whatever reason, need to do a reverse chest pull. Say you're bushcrafting with your Emerson or whatever. If you have to hold it like this, maybe you're going to do a downward stab, and this is the way to do it. If you have even a glimmer of distrust in a lock, you do it this way with the edge in, and you'll also do more damage that way. But the CQC15 is more comfortable to do this with, for sure. Advantages. That point on the CQC15 is acute, but not so acute that it's like the Yojimbo, where everything you do with it, you're risking breaking that tip. So you got a nice chisel, pointy Tanto tip, and then you got that nice recurve belly. So maybe I'm selling myself on the 15 as a first. Maybe it is a good first Emerson, because it does have these different things that Emersons are known for. The Tanto and the recurve, the 7 and the Commander put together into the 15. I say go for it, man. I say go for it. Yeah, go for it. I think you'll like it. They are extremely sharp. Think about getting the Super, which is the XL. You might not have that as an option. These are not always easy to come by. Super is a little bit bigger. I'm not sure how big your hands are. I had the 15, the regular 15, and I had the mini 15 at one point. The regular 15 felt fine on my medium-sized hands. The mini 15 was too cramped. That's a case where having the pinky, the back guard and the forward guard is not good, because your hand feels like it's squashed in there. But the XL, man, you got room for days. You can roam all over that handle. So CQC 15 as a first Emerson, I say yes. I approve. Yes. That's my long way of saying yes. Hollywood Tactical says, Knife Junkie, I got absolutely addicted to the Riot Exo, but it's spendy. Know of any other gravity knives like it? Can't find anything similar or what to search for. I don't. I was thinking maybe like the old knives, like the Paradox by Cold Steel, but I mean they're equally hard, if not harder, to find, and probably very spendy at this point too, and have a different action altogether. But I don't know, man. I don't think you're gonna have much luck, because gravity knife, unless you're a Riot and you're doing it with serious class and you're building it like phenomenally, and that's almost the draw, is that here's a gravity knife. No one does gravity knives, but it's done by Riot, so it's going to be so kick-ass. I don't think too many people are going to make gravity knives, because they are so illegal in so many places, oddly enough, just because that's the language that's been on the books forever. And then also, you don't get the thrill of the spring release of a switchblade. So, I mean, if you're going to go to the trouble to make an illegal knife, it almost makes more sense to make it, more, I don't know, exciting with the switchblade aspect of it than just the sliding out aspect. I don't know, man. That's just me spitballing, but it'd be cool to find something like that, like a Civivi version of that. So you could have something for $60, but that's like really well made and has that whole mechanism. Very cool. Edwin says, yes, Mike Rowe, USN member, introduced Derek Steel Flame to Ernie and Mary. Mary loved it, and they started the collabs of clips, skulls, knife-related jewelry, and the rest is history. That's cool. I know you, Edwin, you have quite a bit of the Steel Flame stuff here and there on your knives. I don't have anything, any Steel Flame anything. I have a CQC 15 full size. Good EDC, says Brant. Very nice, man. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. Gary says, I have a Commander and love it. I do too. I have the 2000 AD, the year 2000 Commander. Love that thing. I would like to get a recent build of it because they have changed things considerably over that time. Knives Fast, good to see you here. Hey, Bob, sorry, been busy family night. Just stopping in to say hi. Well, thank you so much for saying hi. And family comes first. I'll always be around to blab about knives. But I hope you had a good night with your family. Gary says, thank you for your input. I'm going to pull the trigger. There we go. I can't wait to see this CQC15. You know, it's interesting, Gary. Something that I was talking about today is like, you just cannot tell. You cannot guide or decide a lot of the times what's going to grip you and make you, in a way, do its bidding. It's like that 15. I'm sure that design, like so many others we have come into our view, that design probably just got you obsessed. You're like, no, I gotta get that knife. And then you choose your advice when you choose your advisor, and you come to me and you say, is the CQC 15 a good knife? And I'm here like, you know I think it's a good knife, but let me try and pretend to be objective about this. Anyway, good luck. I can't wait to see it. What was that last comment, Jim? I'm sorry I missed that one. Digging the beard, Bob. Oh, thank you. It's my winter shag. My wife always says, oh, my husband Lars is coming off the mountain. And I say, yes, Lars is back. Snuzz, Hollywood Tactical. I don't know of any other gravity knives like the Exo. I think of Paragon Warlock, but that's a taste issue, if you know what I mean. Elementum button lock is a gravity knife, kind of. That's interesting. What's the Warlock? Yeah, no, it's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool. The Warlock is a pretty interesting knife. I had that here from one of the pass around groups, and it took me a minute, but they're super illegal. Yeah, exactly. Super illegal, which makes no sense. Gravity knife is a big no. Yeah. Todd Carr, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. Yes, don't forget. Hit it 5-10 times. Snuzz, the cami sold for $1,500 new. It's paying a premium over that. Oh, okay. It's paying a premium over that makes me feel guilty. I'm actually buying it on layaway to deceive myself so it won't feel like I spent so much money. That's funny. Okay, so $1,500. I balked when I read that, but then I forgot. I forgot what knife we were talking about. And though I have never spent $1,500 on a knife, it's not outside the realm of possibility. You know, it depends on the knife and the makers and the rarity and the payment structure, like the way you're deceiving yourself. That's a good justifier. I like it. Incognito says gravity is a go here in Texas. That's so cool. Texas just seems like a cool place. Hey, Brant, speaking of Texas, how's it going, man?
Going pretty good. What's going on with you?
Not much. It's good to see you.
I figured you've been wanting to see a little bit of Steel Flame.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a sec. That's got dog paws on it, though.
Yeah, he does different ones. He does dog paws. He does skulls. He does the Crusader's Cross. He does all different things.
That's what I know, that Crusader's Cross.
This is full tie, so I did.
Nice. Support knife rights, and hopefully in the future, gravity knives will be legal in all states, says Snuzz. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. What's new with you, Brent? What's new this week?
Not really much. I mean, I've been saving up for whatever that's coming out. It's pretty much what I've been doing.
Just sitting at home saving up.
Yep, pretty much.
Cool. So today you were carrying the that one in particular. Oh no, you had a sheep's foot on you. Man, I gotta say that is a nice looking blade. That sheep's foot, I think they do it just right. It's just pokey enough, you know.
Oh yeah, and then plus you can get your whatever you need to get out.
You mean like if you're hunting? I mean, if you're like cleaning the deer.
Oh yeah, if you're hunting, you can use it for hunting.
Oh yeah. also the it reminds me a little bit of the Insingo blade in that it's a sheep's foot.
Oh yeah.
It's a sheep's foot, but it has a nice little belly, and it's got the point kind of right down the center line. So if you need to jab it into someone, it's right in the right place.
Yeah.
Brant is saving for a Rockstead shoe too. Right on, Brant.
You know, I've been looking at those, and I'm a hinder collector, but still I like other blades. So,
We know. we accept it now.
but Rockstead has been on my list for a long time, and I've always wanted to try one out. Not more like an EDC carry, just more like just going out somewhere nice and just wearing it and whatever.
All right, Brent. I just reminded myself of something I brought up earlier that I want to talk about, and you'd be a good person to bounce this off of. Are you aware of? Do you know this knife?
Oh, looks like a sailor's knife.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Marlin spike.
Yeah, Marlin spike
and
knife.
that refers to the spike on it. It locks open.
Oh.
You actually close it by pulling the. This is a bail. You know, you can put but by pulling the bail back, it unlocks it.
That's
and
a
then
good defense weapon there.
Yeah, and then you have on this side, you have a nice, very, very shiny Warncliffe blade. So what about? So I'm going to do this. This is a Rough Rider. This is like a $15 knife. I'm going to get another one. Maybe a Rough Rider, maybe something else, but something inexpensive. And I'm going to experiment with taking the blade and making it sharper, pointier. Here, let me.
Oh, you're gonna make a Warncliffe.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a Warncliffe, and I'm gonna make. I think this would make a really cool self-defense knife. Here's the problem. Of course, it's a slip joint, but this would not be for me to use. This would just be a concept kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because if you do this, add a clip and add a wave, yeah, you got an awesome. You know, if you have some sort of Pical style blade on one side, and then you have this Marlin spike here. I mean, geez, oh man, the spike is just
deadly.
It's deadly, but not only is it deadly, it seems to be useful. People are making and using and carrying picks, you know, just like ice picks and stuff like that. And obviously, we're not all henchmen out taking people out with our ice picks. So people are finding uses for these. Oh, yeah. So this wouldn't necessarily be an assassin's tool or something like that, but just taking the Marlin spike and making it a little bit more tactical. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun. But it'd be kind of cool.
Be kind of neat to see that. Be kind of cool. I would like to see Hinder maybe do a little spin on that. That'd be kind of fun to see.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Sounds more like Rough Riders game, but I think it'd be cool for sure.
I mean, there's Case actually made one years ago.
Oh, a Mariner's knife?
I think so. Back in probably 40s, I think.
Jim just pulled this up. Michigan Knife Rights Act passed. Is this the?
Ooh.
Excuse me. Is this the? Governor Whitmer. Okay. So this is a preemption law, I believe, which means. Yeah, a preemption law means that you don't have to worry about going from county to county and having to worry about everyone's separate local ordinances. Nice. It's the whole state is covered by the same thing. Very cool. Well, yeah, that's where your money goes when you spend money with knife rights. That's where a portion of your money goes when you buy a Ritter Hogue RSK, Ritter Survival Knife. That's what RSK stands for. You buy one of those from Knife Works. They're exclusives. A lot of that money goes to knife rights. It goes right back into the knife game and making it possible for us to keep doing this stuff. What's it like in Texas for automatics?
You can carry them.
You're cool with that? Okay. All right. So I want to show off a couple of knives here. We
Ooh,
were talking about this one before. This is the ProTech.
TR4.
Yeah, this is the TR3.
Oh, 3? I thought it was 4. I don't know.
Get a tour, Marlin Spike. I didn't know they made one. Oh, okay. Thank you, Knives. Okay. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Actually, like that's what I want. I have 2 RSK knives specifically for that reason, says EDC Oz. Well done, sir. Well done. You've helped the cause. So yeah, I just wanted to show off my Protex. I don't know. Great sub collection, great knife company. I only have 4 of them. Only 4. But I mean, I really, really dig them.
Believe it or not, way before my hinders, I was actually going to get into Protex, and I was thinking about, I love the TR. I love that one. That is my favorite version of any knife. I was actually, well, that's based on one of my designs that I want to do.
Oh, nice.
But
well, have you seen that the operators model out? What I wanted originally, when I got this was the one with the fish scales in it. You know, the fish scale milling.
yeah,
And I wanted it now, and they didn't have it, so I got this one. And actually, I really, really do like this quite a bit. That fluting is really grippy. It's not grippy like sharp, but just so useful. It's in the perfect place. Great knife. I'm sorry, what was that last one, Jim? I was just about to look at that. Sorry. Support those who fight for all of us. Amen.
heck
Amen.
yeah.
Hawaii Knife and Gear says, Hawaii, I'm not sure if I said hi to you tonight, so hello. Thanks for joining us. Fight a case in Hawaii to legalize Balisongs. It's been a long process. Fighting a case. Wow. That seems odd. It seems like Hawaii, it should be good to go. Tedder versus Connors.
I have no idea who those are.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the TR3. Okay, let me show you the very first ProTech I ever got. This is the Les George designed Rock Eye. My lawyer is a true patriot, Alan Beck. Awesome, man. It's good to support people like that, especially when they're doing what they're best at.
Is that the full size?
Yeah, this is the full size. So I got this when I was lusting over Les George knives, and I think this was the first production collaboration he did, and I can't remember the year, but it was probably
late
what's that?
2000s, probably late 2018 when those, I think, went first. I think 2020, I think first came out.
No. This was out maybe 2015, 2016, something like that. They did a run. They did a couple of runs of these. This was the first run of 400. And
wow.
The first one was successful. Then they came back with knurling and then different colors and stuff. And then it seemed to go away for a little while, or at least lose prominence. And then the SBR, the small version of this, came out. Yeah. And then they reintroduced the large. I just love this knife. And this was how I was able to get myself a VSEP at the time. This was, it's the same knife basically. And I
want one of those.
Oh man, I just so desperately wanted a VSEP, and yeah. Well, hey man, get yourself a ProTech Rock Eye, and let that hold you over while you search for a legit Les George. Loving that SBR, says EDC Oz. So another, so I mentioned I have 4. Another one. This one's cool. I got this one on the secondary market from a guy in Texas who is a farmer. And I know he used this for a full season of harvesting stuff. And when it came, hey, good to see Grateful Panic is here. Good to have you here, man. Howdy, boys, girls, and Shane. And yeah, so I got this from him. It showed up really sharp, came very gritty, and I blasted it out, cleaned it up. And this thing is just a monster. It's little. This is the TR2 3-inch bladed knife, but it is a monster. It kicks like none other. Yeah, we used it for painting my daughter's room, so it's got some light blue paint on it, which I leave on for posterity. And then I decided I'd take off, and I can't, so without scratching up all the aluminum, so I'll just leave it on. What's that?
It's a memory.
It's a memory. It's a memory. Now I can't get rid of this knife. And if you look at it, it looks just like the Topps Lil Bro. It's like a folding version of the Topps
Yeah.
Lil Bro.
All it
So
needs is the skull. That's all it needs. It just
I
looks
do,
great. I like that.
you know what? I'm not a skull guy, but I do like the skulls as they appear on these ProTech knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they look cool.
Hey, I want to say this. Hey, Jim, put that one back up about the Texas law, please.
Speaking of Texas knife laws, I always found it odd that San Antonio, home of the Alamo, outlawed Bowie knives until preemption became law. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I
That
remember
is
when I remember when that was going around. They would not allow us to have Bowie knives, and now that Doug Ritter has now put out, multiple things about knife laws, you're allowed to carry one about 5.5 inch now, so it's
nice.
even better now.
Yvonne's good evening, lovely knife peeps. Good to have you here. Good to have you here, sir. I swear to God, I didn't drink Coca-Cola or something before this, but I start talking, I start belching. What can I say? Sorry to draw attention to it. Okay, my final ProTech that I want to show off is this gorgeous collaboration with Strider Knives to make this SNG automatic, sorry, that I showed earlier. And oh man, what a great knife. This is I bought this one from Joe, Knife Whisperer. This one has aluminum. Now, if you look, an interesting thing they did here. Well, it has aluminum on this side, anodized, hard anodized aluminum. And on this side, it has a GL Hansen and Sons custom G Carta, and it has a mother of pearl button here. Such a great and beautiful knife. And, this is how I'm getting into an SNG. I have the SMF. I like it a lot. I don't really need a real SNG. This will do the trick for me. But what I wanted to show off, something that I've always liked about Strider knives, or at least the SMF SNG series, is this. So here's the SMF I showed you. The front side, the G10 side, and the back spacer are all one piece. It's an integral on this side, and then the frame lock side is sandwiched right on there. Cool kind of construction.
It's almost like a concealed carry, almost like a.
This is a concealed carry. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, nice. I have the
yeah.
Lego. I have the probably an old school like Strider.
The Lego.
Yeah.
So with the ProTech, they did the same thing, except they reversed it. It's the metal sort of clip side that has the integrated back spacer. So and then it's the G Carta slab that's placed on top. So just awesome. That show scale is awesome, Bob. It's so cool. It even dominates the the mother of pearl button. It really does. It does. Man, GL Hansen and Sons and G Carta, such a cool material.
It's really, really, really cool.
What's that?
I said it's really cool.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Hey, Shane. We got Shane Gables with us. Always a pleasure, Shane. How you doing, man? Hope you're well.
What's up, Shane?
What's up, Shane? So yeah, I just wanted to show off my ProTech sub collection. I did not get anything new this week. That's all right. My knife acquiring has slowed down. I have to. I have noticed it is slowing down, and that's fine. It's not that it is slowing down; it has slowed down, and that's fine. Especially considering I've had so many generous people loan me knives to check out. I think I say this all the time. You hear me say this a million times. I'm rethinking how I want to collect. But in the meantime, until I decide on how I want to collect, I'm just going to have every knife. Andrew Bentley says, what does SNG stand for? I don't know. And today I was wondering what SMF stands for. And I was coming up with a bunch of off-color ideas for what SMF stands for. At Knife Point, Bob, what are your thoughts on lanyards? Lanyards. Interesting.
So, like them.
Yeah, Brent likes them. So I like them, and what we call lanyards, I call a fob, because a lanyard to me is long and it goes around your neck, but a fob is like a little thing that you would see on the end of a watch, like a stopwatch or a watch, pocket watch.
Ooh.
At knife point, I do like them. I usually end up removing them. I only put them on knives that I think I'm going to keep, or on small knives. I'm apt to put them on because sometimes I like dropping them in the pocket, not using a clip, and then having the fob in pocket create tension and keep it oriented north to south. And then I'll end up cutting it off. But here's how I like them best. Let me show you. Like this. I like these kind of leather lanyards. So I get the leather laces that you just put, buy for your shoes.
Cool.
And then you can just tie a little sort of noose knot here. They're easy enough to do. And then you can, like a noose, you can slide this up and down and get the length you want. Then you snip it. And so these are really nice. These are two Sodbuster style work knives from Great Eastern Cutlery. I like to carry these in my back pocket. That lanyard or that fob kind of goes over the back pocket, keeps it oriented north to south. Totally necessary. So, I like lanyards. I do. Knives Fest. All right, y'all. I'm out. Hoping for a change in Richmond next week, Bob. Oh, yes, exactly. Give me freedom and autos. Yes, no doubt. Knives Fast, another a fellow Virginian, and by the way, check out his channel. So prolific and great opinions, and I really like your weekly roundup too. Standard Military Folder, okay, SMF, Standard Military. So Knives Fast, have a great night, sir. SNG is a vet's initials that died in combat. Wow. Okay,
fun.
that is something, dude. I'm torn on lanyards. I like them, then I don't. Me too. Luckily, paracord is inexpensive. All you got to do is learn how to do this little knot, which I learned on. Which I love that knot. It's symmetrical and
I can't do those knots. I just tie it.
SNG was a friend of Mick's that was killed in action, says Shane Gables. Okay. Thank you. That's actually very interesting. Interesting bit of knowledge. These, you can learn how to tie these little knot things. Randy Johnson's knife.
Yeah, Randy
page.
Johnson, I was going to say.
Yeah, not Randy Jackson. Incognito Griffin says, I like putting lanyards on knives because I can show off my beads. Yeah, exactly. You know who I always think of when I think of lanyards is Jimmy Slash. And every knife he gets that he puts them on. I don't like lanyards. I do like Garrett's though. Similar purpose, but differences are important for sure. Yeah. It's interesting. Now, I don't know how much of a thing this is. I have a feeling it's a bigger thing than I know about currently, but who is it? I'm trying to think of, Flippin' Bean on Instagram. He makes Garrett's or Garrots or however you pronounce that. And I think they're cool. They're like little worry beads, but you can also strangle someone with it if you need to. I think they're neat. What can I say? James Moore says, I wish I could remove all lanyard holes from my knives, except my Spyderco ladybug on my keychain. Yeah, that's right. I remember that about you, James. Yeah. And someone a couple of back was saying that they're very good to have lanyards when you're wearing gloves. And yes, that is a very good point. Shane says, if you have neuropathy, you'd love lanyards. How is that? What is that? Neuropathy. Does that mean it helps you with purchase in your hand? Is that what you mean?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Bob, you want to see something cool?
Yeah, I do.
Here's a rare PTSD black. This is military version. Way before this is the 90s version of it, but yeah.
Get that. Where did you score that?
A pawn shop.
Very nice, man.
For like $15. And I not only got this, but I got the super tool, the original super tool.
Oh, cool. Man,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. We were just talking before about Leatherman. I need to get a new Leatherman.
You're talking to a
Blade
guy that
Freak.
went to the factory.
Cool. Hey, dudes. Lanyards, beads. What is this nonsense? Well, you know, we're talking jewelry. Sometimes neuropathy, very varying degrees of numbness, pretty much. Oh, oof. Yeah, yeah. I mean, anything. Look, I mean, I think most people use those fobs for purchase. To grab, to pull it. I actually have with the my EDC today. My where the hell is it? Here it is. With the SMF, this thing I put lanyards on, take them off, put them on, take them off, put them on. If you notice on the SMF, and I think it's the same on the SNG. I'm going to try and do this. If you look closely at the lanyard hole, you'll see that the knife blade, the tip of the blade, interrupts. It goes in there. You can see the tip of the blade in that lanyard hole. And so you have to, I'm not partial on lanyards, just have a knife with a lanyard hole, so it must be filled. That's funny. So you end up with a strider putting the lanyard on one side and gutting out the cord and everything like that. But this knife needs a lanyard. It needs a fob more than probably any other knife I carry. And it's because of the placement of that, of the relief for the lock bar. It's the placement of this and the placement of the clip. Any sort of pants that have a seam, a bulky seam or whatever, it gets jammed in there and it makes it really hard to pull this thing out of the pocket. So this is a knife that really does benefit from a lanyard. Definitely. Unfortunately, it's not set up to accept it. Look at that. That's a beauty.
This is a rare numbered number 9.
Nice. That's beautiful, man.
Actually, believe it or not, this was only $200 when I got this at House of Blades.
Jeez. What was that in 1967?
See, this doesn't have the M Strider, it just has Strider on it. Very hard to see, but yeah.
Yeah. Ian says lanyard with a bead makes a 3-finger knife into a 4-finger knife. Yes, and I forgot to mention that. That is also like a primary reason why I like lanyards. Hey, you know about my Vaquero has a paracord lanyard with the Predator from the movie Predator beads. That's nice. Extra reach for chopping. Yes, because you know what? It's chopping some onions. Because you know what, incognito, you need the extra reach on that knife. You do. You really do need that extra reach because it's not a long enough handle at 7 inches. All right. So I want to talk real quickly about this Invictus Balisong. Prometheus Design Blade Works. Do you know?
Sort of.
Okay. So you know the Invictus knife. It was all the rage a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Designed by Patrick Ma, of Prometheus Designs, and there it is.
Oh, that
pretty cool, huh?
That is cool.
I really like it. I really like the way this looks, and I'm not a big, huge, giant fan of the Invictus. I have respect for it. I have respect for it because a lot of people I respect love that knife, but this knife, I can look at myself and say, "Damn, that's cool." And then I know from reading the article that blade is 3.75 inches and makes my heart sing, man. That is the perfect length as far as I'm concerned. And it's M390 and it's got a pocket clip. And this thing is intended really for EDC. It is really intended for work. Patrick Ma wanted this to be a work knife, not just something to flip for fun and all of that, but something that you would carry around with you, take out, maybe flip to open, but use it. And I love it. I love the concept, and I love the design.
Reminds me of the Benchmade 31, I think, the small version, the original Benchmade 31, the small versions.
I
think it was the 10, Benchmade 10. I don't remember.
Benchmade 10.
That is sick looking.
Yeah, man. I I like the look. I really like the handles, the fluted handles. It's like the fuller on the handle matches the fuller on the blade, which I like a lot. And I love his octopus logo. It's pretty sweet.
That is cool. Those are so like hard to come by sometimes when those come out.
Yeah. Yep.
The Sabenzas, when they come out, you'll never get one.
Yeah. Thank God for the secondary market.
Yeah, and pay like $1,000 for one.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of Balisongs? Do you like Balisongs?
I do. I mean, the very first Balisong was a flea market Balisong. Those things go like little dinky little things like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I have two of them. I have a Benchmade and also a Hinderer.
Matisfaction, thanks for joining us tonight. Dang, I don't know how to Balisong, but that looks nice. Yeah, you know what? Yes, you do. If you know, if maybe you don't, but my point is, 2 or 3 ways to open a Balisong is all you want or need if you're going to carry it to use it like a self-defense knife or something. Now, if you're going to carry it and do some of that incredible stuff you see the Bally boys doing at the shows, hey man, that's cool. Better that than hacky sack. I mean, hacky sack was fun. I played that a whole lot. But my point is, blades are fun to play with too. At Knife Point, thank you. Appreciate what you do, Bob. I'm new to knives, and you're helping me learn. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And man, knives are so awesome. Welcome.
They are.
It's funny because, as I was mentioning earlier, I had a great conversation with Mike Latham last night, and I don't remember exactly how we got to it, but he was just like, yeah, I am so fully obsessed. And this is a guy who's, who sells them and is around them all the time and designs them and everything. And he just can't get enough. And I just think it's funny. I used to say this a lot. It's like wrenches are tools, needle nose pliers are tools, but you don't see whole communities of people popping up around cool needle nose pliers and buying and making custom needle nose pliers. There's something about knives that has, shout out to Hacky Sack. There's something about knives that have an appeal, a meta appeal.
Also,
Meta.
mention the bonus Patreon content.
Yes. What?
Jim told Jim put it in the private thing.
Well, no. Jim, I wasn't reading. I'm like, how do you know about it? You're not a patron. No.
No.
Yes. So we, as almost always, continue the conversation afterwards and record it. That becomes Patreon bonus material. And we did a great little session with Mike Latham, and I got to ask him, on the podcast that goes far and wide and gets broadcast, I keep it relatively civil, but for the extra interview extras, I ask more inflammatory questions. These were not inflammatory, but I wanted his opinions on some knife makers and some knife companies and stuff like that. And that stuff, that's kind of private stuff for the patrons. And I don't necessarily need the people he was talking about, neither does he, to hear him talking about them. So it was cool. That's what the bonus material is all about. It's about an even more personal look, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So we have a knife fight tonight that is interesting, and it comes hot on the heels of that Balisong story. Matisfaction says, this is my first live stream here, and already it's full of technical details. And that one dude who has a hinderer or two, awesome stuff going on there. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Technical details, I don't think we do. We don't get too technical. I think we're more philosophical, spiritual, if you will. Shane Gable says, if you love knives, and then you can appreciate the small Nipex slip joint pliers. All right. Okay. Well, yes, I'm sure I can. I have a special love for tools. I'm sure my brother is going to catalog all the double entendres and send them to me. When I just, by the way, when I did the Slip Joint podcast recently, my brother sent me a text with all the different quotes of me using the word bone. Like, I really like this bone. I love the color of this bone. This bone feels good in hand. He's like, Bob, who writes your text, man? Mr. Beyond the Beard says, I went the other way with the Invictus. I have 2 different models of the ProTech PWD collaborator. Oh, cool. Yeah, that was really nice, actually. I think that's what is the most fetching to me. It was the auto model that they did. But yeah, man, like I said before,
cool.
there's absolutely no accounting for that design that just gets itself under your skin, and you got to have it. I get what you're saying, Brant. Bob overlooked the Patreon plug. Yeah, I did.
Hey, I just had to help out a little bit here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That. Hey, everyone. Hobbit says, finally free on a Thursday. Glad to be here. Well, glad to have you, Hobbit. You're just in time for this evening's knife fight. And tonight we're talking about Balisong, because we were talking about the new Invictus Balisong versus the Out the Front Auto. Balisong versus Out the Front Auto. And we're going to remove all questions of legality out of this debate and keep it to, the usual usability, emotional impact, these kind of things. So what would you like to argue for Balisong? Knife fight, says Nuz Nuz. Knife, you want to be Balisong or do you want to be Out the Front Auto?
I'll do the Out the Front.
Woo, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. I got all sorts of stuff happening here. Okay. Since you picked Out the Front Auto, you get to go first.
Well, all right. Do it like
all right.
3 minutes on it?
3 minutes.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Okay. Well, okay.
All right. Stand by. Three, 2, 1. Out the Front Auto, go.
I think Out the Front Autos are way better than, Balisongs are good too, but Out the Fronts are more compact than anything, because when you have both hands in your pocket or whatever, or you're carrying something and you don't have, your hand, or you got one hand and you need your knife, you literally just get it out, pull it out, slash it out, do whatever you need to do with it, put it back in your pocket. That's basically what it is. You can literally, they're good knives, but they also can cause a catastrophic, pretty much catastrophically. You can do a lot of injuries with it by stabbing yourself. That's all.
All right. Now, what I don't get is, were you just saying that OTFs can cause catastrophic injury?
Yeah. If you literally say, "Oh, look at this, dude! I can do this."
Okay, all right. So I'm going to open with that. Thank you for the ammunition. As Brant said, OTFs. Let me check that. OTFs are dangerous. You can do grievous bodily harm to yourself and kind of not even know how or why it happened, especially if you have a single action out the front. Most out the fronts we know are double action, and they'll stop if you point the blade at something and let it go. It will stop from resistance. And a single action out the front will not stop. It will keep going. It will penetrate flesh. So he is right. And I'm going to leave his point right there as correct. And I'm going to bolster his point by saying that Balisongs are even better because they require a minimal level of skill to open up and use. And when we're talking about deadly weapons and deadly tools, shouldn't we demand skilled users for the kids, for the children? All right, that's time. I did 2 minutes extra, 2 seconds extra for the appeal.
You are the host. You
for the that's right, for the children's appeal. Balisongs to me are now that it's over, Let me just say that Balisongs are also fun. They really are fun. Click, clack, clickety clack, and then boom, you got it open. Also, kind of an interesting history. I'm not sure exactly what they are, what it is, but I know that they come out of the Philippines and they come out of a maritime tradition. And I know a lot of it has to do with being in rigging and opening a knife and using it and closing it and putting it back without, one-handed. Wow, got deep there at the end. That's right. That's right. For the kids.
For the trainers. Get the trainers for the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever you're losing an argument, just bring up the kids. Hashtag for the kids. Balisongs for the kids. I don't know. I think it's good. I think I need a I do have the Lucha from Kershaw, and that's my nicest Balisong by far. But I wouldn't mind getting this Invictus. It is very smooth. This Invictus is pretty damn cool looking, I gotta say. Well, alrighty, sir. I think that does it for us over here on the right coast, on the East Coast. And well, man, it's always a pleasure. Brent, thank you for coming on. Always have fun. And then thank you all for coming and joining and typing in and talking and commenting. I learn a lot from this show, even if I pretend like I know everything. Coming up this Sunday is episode 262 of the Knife Junkie podcast. It's our Sunday interview show, this time with Mike Latham of CollectorKnives.net. Mike is a really cool guy, kind of your neck of the woods. He's in Oklahoma, but, closer to you than to me. Great guy, super deep knowledge of traditional knives, and has been in the game of selling them for longer than I knew. And he's been designing these awesome things too. So definitely come check out the conversation. He is a cool cat. And then also join us next Wednesday for the midweek supplemental, and then another Thursday night knives, next Thursday knives. Bryce, have a good one, sir. And thanks everyone, one and all, greatly appreciated. K Mason, thank you. Always appreciated. Good to see you here in that Spidey hole. And so for Jim, Chris, good to see you. JN, great to have you. EDC Oz, awesome. Thank you, man. Great to have you. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, don't take dull for an answer.